Whenever the train entered this strange patch of tall grass, it would inexplicably stall. The man was puzzled. He didn't understand why the train would stop in such a remote place, so he opened his compartment to see what was happening. Strangely, the train corridor was deserted. He got off the train and looked around, noticing a strange light emanating from the grass not far away. Just as he was about to approach, the train conductor suddenly appeared and stopped him.
What happened? Just a brief stop.
The conductor told him that the boiler had malfunctioned and that he would leave immediately after it was repaired, and told him to quickly return to the train.
Then surely I have time for a smoke. Yes.
But only warned him not to leave the railway tracks, and that he would be called back on the train once it was repaired. But if the man hadn't boarded after being reminded twice, the train would depart. The man found his words strange, but didn't think much of it. He had just lit a cigarette when he saw the strange light again. Even stranger, the light was moving. Intrigued, the man ignored the conductor's warnings and followed. However, just as he was about to uncover the light's true nature, it suddenly disappeared. This made the man even more curious. Then, the conductor announced the train was about to depart. Left with no choice, he suppressed his curiosity and prepared to turn back. But suddenly, a strange figure flashed through the bushes. The man became frightened. He immediately turned back, but the dense grass blocked his view. He walked for a long time, but still couldn't see the train. He jumped up in panic and shouted. Just then, the train conductor's voice came again. The man knew the train was about to leave, so he ran towards the sound. But no matter how fast he ran, he couldn't escape the tall grass. At the same time, the eerie figure reappeared. The man pushed aside the glowing grass again, and finally discovered that the glowing thing was a monster without features. Even more terrifying, there were several monsters around. The monsters launched a fierce attack on the man. The man desperately fled, finally escaping the tall grass, but accidentally fell into a pit, losing his glasses in the process. When he found his glasses and put them back on, another monster emerged from the ground. He desperately scrambled out of the ditch, and finally saw the train's light through the gaps in the tall grass. Just as he was about to catch up with the train, a monster suddenly appeared and pounced on him. The other monsters swarmed him. Just as the man was in despair, a flash of light suddenly appeared.
Get lost! Be gone!
It turned out to be the train conductor, coming to rescue him with a torch. These monsters seemed afraid of fire. With the conductor's help, the man successfully escaped and boarded the train at the last moment. The man lay on the train, still shaken. After a long time, he asked what the monsters were.
Most of them used to be people. Maybe some got lost crossing the plains. Or maybe others got off the train at the wrong place.
The man sat there blankly, watching the glimmer of light from the tall grass gradually spread across the entire grassland.
Woman found a creature in the sewer with its hands locked up. In that instant, she felt her heart skip a beat, and when the creature saw the beauty, he suddenly became gentle. He carefully reached out and held her hand. At that moment, the woman felt like she was falling in love. She had never seen such pure eyes before. Even though the creature's body was covered with scars, he couldn't hide his charm. The woman couldn't help but reach out her soft, fair hand to touch his skin. She asked who had hurt him like that. Then she went upstairs to confront Victor. She demanded to know who had hurt the man downstairs. Victor was shocked that the woman had seen the creature he stitched together. The woman thought Victor had hurt the creature, but Victor said he was the one who gave him a second life. Now the creature had become very strong. His wounds were slowly healing, but suddenly, he crouched down in pain. Clearly, he didn't want to be a monster trapped in the sewer. The kind-hearted woman felt sorry for him, so she often came down to the sewer to talk with him. When Victor saw the woman he loved getting close to another man, he was furious. So when no one was around, he started whipping the creature. He warned him to stay away from the woman. But what he didn't expect was that the creature had become self-aware. With a roar, he bent the iron bar in half.
Victor!
Seeing his son rebel against him, Victor exploded with rage. He grabbed an oil can and poured it all over the sewer. Sensing death coming, the creature raised both hands in surrender. But Victor didn't stop his cruel act. He set the sewer on fire.
Victor! Victor!
Hearing the creature call his name, he suddenly regretted it. He turned and rushed in to save him, but the raging flames knocked him to the ground. When the woman arrived, she thought her lover was dead, but she didn't know the creature had gained immortality. He broke free from his chains and jumped into the sea to escape.
He hooked a paperclip onto a lady's dress, bumped into her, and stepped on the trailing thread to create a distraction. Amidst the casino chaos, he swiped the dice from the table. Slipping into the restroom, he combined cleaning supplies with the shoe polisher to create a makeshift grinder. He shaved down the diagonals of the 4 and 3 on the stolen dice, ensuring he'd roll a 7 every single time. He returned to the table and instantly cleaned out $10,000. As his pile of chips grew, he caught the boss's eye. The boss sent a beautiful woman to fish for his identity, but all she got was a legendary alias.
James Bond.
The boss showed up to inspect the game personally. The thief slickly swapped the rigged dice for normal ones and threw a losing round. He walked away from the game, but the boss was suspicious and checked the dice. To cover his tracks, the thief dropped the rigged dice into a glass of juice. With no evidence of cheating, the boss was forced to take him to the vault to cash out his chips. The mission was a success. He now had the vault's layout. However, a waiter brought over the juice. The boss fished out the dice and found the proof. His female partner accidentally bumped into the bodyguards, giving him a window to bolt. He memorized the security camera positions on his way out linked up with his partner, and vanished into the night.
During the deal, I noticed something strange. The buyer assembled the weapon faster than me, and I'm a trained agent, by 5 seconds no less. What's even stranger, I secretly messed with the sniper scope settings, yet she still hit the target a kilometer away, dead center. It hit me. I just submitted my retirement papers, and this sudden deal, it couldn't be a coincidence. As I was thinking, she suddenly shoved the weapon into my hands. She asked me to fire a shot next to her, said it was to test the silencer. I could have killed her right there, but I had a better plan in mind. She praised the weapon, about to seal the deal. Then I suddenly said some parts needed improvement. She didn't suspect a thing, and gave me 3 days. After leaving the deal, I intentionally damaged the car bumper. Then I forced it open, took it to a repair shop.
Fabio, got some damage to my car.
While the owner worked on the car, I quietly gathered usable parts for my plan. At home, I immediately went to work. I took the hidden metal washers and placed them on the table. With a hammer, I shaped them until they were perfect. I was going to make a convincing fake weapon. Next, I carefully cut a steel.
The man threw a grappling hook onto a large truck, preparing to hitch a ride. But they ran out of rope, and the bicycle still wouldn't move.
I couldn't reach it, so I tied it to the back tire.
Oh, good.
Just like that, the 3 men arrived in the city. They hung up a sign saying they would do anything for $1 million. Right then, a woman came to them. She asked them to kill her husband. The 3 guys were completely baffled. Then, the target of the commission, Jack, appeared. He claimed he had a terminal illness and wanted to die comfortably. Upon hearing this, the 3 readily accepted the mission and immediately got to work. But they never imagined Jack wouldn't die even after that. The 3 men had no choice but to disguise themselves as doctors to continue the mission. They quickly found Jack. Seeing the 3 guys approaching, Jack quickly retreated and hid in a plaster cast. But this didn't deter the trio. They took out a lead bomb and threw it inside without hesitation. Unexpectedly, Jack threw it right back out. Fortunately, the man noticed in time, quickly picked it up, and threw it back in. What happens when mice enrage a robot? At first, the old man only noticed a few mice sneaking into his barn. He quickly grabbed a weapon and went inside to check things out. What happened next completely shocked him. The mice launched an organized attack. It was clearly meant as a warning. But when the old man examined what they were using, he was stunned. These mice had actually learned how to use tools, and it looked like they were on the verge of an armed uprising. Panicking, he rushed out of the barn and called a pest control company. Meanwhile, the mice gathered at the doorway, almost as if they were staging a protest. Left with no choice, the old man spent a fortune on a high-end mouse-catching system.
Fixed position guided pulse laser with sensors that can zero a woodlouse at a kilometer. The very latest in trap technology.
Using such advanced equipment to deal with a few mice felt like using a cannon to kill a mosquito.
Becky was working her shift at the diner when some local punks started harassing her. They were loudly making comments about her body. Instead of getting angry, Becky calmly offered them coffee on the house. While handing them the mugs, she accidentally spilled scalding coffee right into one guy's lap. She pretended to apologize and bent down to help, but the punks still held a grudge. They waited for her after her shift ended. That night, Becky heard noises coming from downstairs. She went down to check it out. Becky broke free when the